We left Nelson at the top of the South Island of New Zealand on February 4th, 2021.
We had a pretty great passage for 4 days through the Tasman Sea going south along the west coast, with mainly light winds and lots of wildlife. It got only rough on the last day.
We arrived in Milford Sound, the most dramatic of the sounds. We walked the last part of Milford Track and explored the area, but we also had to do our schooling in between times.
The scenery was amazing. Harrison Cove was one of our favorite spots. We played in the river and had great weather while we were there.
On our way down to Dagg Sound, we caught a nice albacore tuna, but the wind was light, so we couldn't sail much.
Wow. George was beautiful, but the sandflies were awful. We stayed in Anchorage Cove the first night, but really liked Alice Bay in the walk to Alice Lake, above the waterfall, where we had a picnic lunch.
After a few days, we sailed down to Doubtful Sound.
While in Precipice Cove, we caught a few sharks, but we didn't eat them.
What do you think he is like this? Free him.
Doubtful was beautiful as well, and we continued to have really nice weather. We walked to St. Helena Falls and were given some crayfish by some local fishermen.
We headed down to Dagg Sound, Mom's favorite. We caught 2 albacore on our way and enjoyed quite a few rainy days at the head of Dagg Sound, watching huge waterfalls rush down the cliff and disappear an hour later.
After Dagg, we sailed down to Breaksea, then Dusky, where Cook spent a bunch of time. We had one really good storm with hail, lightning, and thunder.
We went to the spot where Cook watched the transit of Venus to get a more accurate location for New Zealand, and where he spent a month refitting his boat.
We really liked lunch in Cove. The sandflies were not too bad at all there, and there was a baby seal in the cove that we loved watching. Mom and Dad took us on a ridiculously long hike that didn't go anywhere. We eventually took a wrong turn, but the bush was really pretty to walk through, though.
We went to Dusky Sound on a gray, slightly rainy day and decided to go all the way to Preservation Sound because there is a lot to do in Preservation and we wanted a bit more time there. We actually had a really nice sail that day. We saw tons of wildlife, albatross, dolphins, and a huge flock of sooty terns that we sailed right through.
City terns, I think.
When we got to Isthmus Cove in Preservation, we immediately fished for cod and found some mussels for dinner. There was so much to explore in Preservation Sound that we couldn't do it all, unfortunately. We hiked to Pusiker Lighthouse and on a really lovely day. Dad did a pre-passage check of the rig, then we found a great spot to gather pawa.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our exploration of Stewart Island, New Zealand's 3rd largest island in one of the Great Southern Capes.
You can watch our monthly 1 Moment a Day videos on YouTube and follow our blog at votersonthewater.com.